humble banana hides a dark and twisted history, a tale of corporate greed, revolutions, CIA-backed coups, and massacres that reshaped nations. Behind this seemingly innocent fruit lies the story of how powerful companies exploited entire countries for profit, leaving a legacy of political turmoil and human suffering. Once you uncover the truth, you'll never look at a banana the same way again. The humble beginnings of Sam Zemurray. Sam Zemurray, famously known as Sam the Banana Man, epitomizes the rags-to-riches story. He started as an immigrant with no resources, selling overripe bananas that larger fruit companies discarded. While these bananas were seen as waste by others, Zemurray's ingenuity helped him establish a profitable niche, selling them cheaply to working-class communities. His business, known as Creamo Fruit Company, grew rapidly, fueled by his innovations in transportation and marketing. Zemurray's strategy of delivering ripe bananas before they spoil made him a formidable player in the industry. However, behind his success was an ambitious entrepreneur who wasn't afraid to bend rules, manipulate governments, and use questionable methods to secure his dominance. The first banana coup, overthrowing the Honduran government. Zemurray's defining moment came in 1910, when his tax exemptions and land deals in Honduras were threatened by new political leadership. Refusing to accept the potential collapse of his business model, Zemurray orchestrated a coup to remove the Honduran president. He funded a mercenary army led by Lee Christmas, an experienced soldier, and helped reinstate Manuel Bonilla, a former president sympathetic to Zemurray's interests. Bonilla rewarded Zemurray by reinstating his tax privileges and granting him 25,000 acres of land. This coup demonstrated the dangerous extent to which corporate power could dictate national politics and was one of the first cases of a business directly influencing a country's leadership. United Fruit Company. The rise of the octopus. While Zemurray was building Creamo Fruit, United Fruit Company was emerging as the dominant force in the banana trade. Nicknamed the octopus for its vast reach, United Fruit controlled not only the banana supply chain but also the infrastructure of many Central American nations. Its influence extended to railways, shipping lines, telecommunication systems, and even national postal services. United Fruit's business model exploited workers by housing them in company-controlled towns and paying them in vouchers redeemable only at company-owned stores. The company suppressed strikes and protests with the help of local governments, creating a system where the economic dependency of nations like Guatemala and Honduras became a tool of corporate control. United Fruit wasn't just a company, it was a political entity capable of shaping the futures of entire countries. The birth of banana republics, a legacy of economic exploitation. The term banana republic was first coined to describe the destabilized nations in Central America, whose economies and governance were heavily influenced by foreign corporations, especially United Fruit. These nations relied almost entirely on banana exports, leaving them vulnerable to the whims of powerful companies. In exchange for infrastructure development and job creation, United Fruit and other banana companies extracted immense concessions, including tax exemptions and exclusive access to fertile land. These arrangements fostered corruption within governments, suppressed local businesses, and left populations in poverty. The banana republics became a global symbol of how corporate greed could stunt a nation's development. Marketing mastery. Turning bananas into a global staple. United Fruit didn't stop at dominating supply chains and also spearheaded efforts to create a demand for bananas in Western markets. The fruit was initially considered an exotic luxury, but a series of ingenious marketing campaigns turned it into a household staple. Free samples were handed out at ferry terminals, and promotional recipes encouraged families to incorporate bananas into their daily diets. The creation of the Miss Chiquita mascot gave the banana a friendly and approachable image, while United Fruit sponsored scientific studies to tout the fruit's health benefits. These strategies solidified bananas as an affordable and essential food item, enabling United Fruit to dominate the market for decades. Labor strikes and the 1928 Banana Massacre. The oppressive conditions imposed by United Fruit eventually led to one of the darkest chapters in its history, the 1928 Banana Massacre in Colombia. Workers on United Fruit plantations went on strike, demanding fair wages, better working conditions, and payment in cash instead of company vouchers. United Fruit labeled the strike a communist uprising and enlisted the Colombian government to suppress it. Soldiers surrounded the protesting workers and opened fire, killing an estimated 1,000 to 2,000 people. The massacre highlighted the extent to which United Fruit could leverage governmental power to maintain its control, sacrificing lives to protect its bottom line. The Guatemalan coup. Corporate interests, and Cold War politics. By the 1950s, United Fruit faced significant challenges to its control over Central America. In Guatemala, President Jacobo Arbenz enacted land reforms under Decree 900, aiming to redistribute uncultivated land to poor farmers, threatening United Fruit's vast holdings. In response, the company launched a propaganda campaign in the U.S., portraying Arbenz as a communist sympathizer during the height of the Cold War. United Fruit's lobbying efforts influenced U.S. policymakers, leading the CIA to launch Operation PB Success in 1954. The covert operation supported a coup that replaced Arbenz with Colonel Carlos Castillo Armas, a pro-United Fruit leader. While the coup protected the company's interests, it plunged Guatemala into decades of political instability and civil war, resulting in mass repression and countless civilian deaths. The coup highlighted United Fruit's ability to manipulate U.S. foreign policy but further tarnished its reputation. It became a defining moment in corporate overreach, illustrating the devastating consequences of prioritizing profits over sovereignty and human rights. The fall of the grows Michael banana. The banana industry's reliance on monoculture, the large-scale cultivation of a single variety, proved disastrous in the mid-20th century when Panama disease, a soil-borne fungus, wiped out the grows Michael banana. The disease spread rapidly due to the lack of genetic diversity, rendering entire plantations useless and forcing companies like United Fruit to abandon farmland and clear rainforests for new crops. This disruption significantly impacted production and destroyed local ecosystems. To recover, the industry adopted the Cavendish banana, initially resistant to Panama disease. However, its genetic uniformity made it vulnerable to newer strains, such as Tropical Race 4, which has begun devastating Cavendish plantations worldwide. The growing threat raises concerns about food security and the sustainability of the global banana supply. The crisis underscores the risks of industrial agriculture's focus on uniformity over resilience. Efforts to address the problem, including breeding disease-resistant varieties and adopting diverse farming techniques, are ongoing but face challenges. World War II – challenges for the banana trade. During World War II, the banana industry faced severe disruptions, with Britain banning banana imports to conserve resources and the U.S. restricting shipments. United Fruit's Great White Fleet suffered significant losses as many ships were requisitioned for military use or destroyed by enemy forces. This left the company unable to transport its bananas, resulting in massive stockpiles and financial losses. To adapt, United Fruit diversified into crops like sugarcane, hemp, and palm oil, which were in high demand for wartime purposes. Hemp, for instance, was used for producing ropes and other military supplies. This diversification provided temporary relief, helping the company generate revenue and avoid collapse. The war highlighted the banana industry's dependence on global trade and the vulnerabilities in monoculture farming. By the war's end, United Fruit had lost significant market share, with damaged infrastructure and reduced shipping capacity further hampering its recovery. The decline and legacy of United Fruit. United Fruit's decline in the mid-20th century was catalyzed by its role in the 1954 Guatemalan coup, which exposed its prioritization of profits over democracy and human rights. The coup destabilized Guatemala and drew international condemnation, branding United Fruit as a symbol of corporate greed and exploitation. Public scrutiny intensified as labor strikes and social reforms across Latin America further eroded its influence. A U.S. antitrust lawsuit in the late 1950s forced the company to sell 33% of its land, weakening its monopoly and paving the way for competitors like Standard Fruit. In the 1970s, United Fruit rebranded as Chiquita to distance itself from its tarnished legacy. However, scandals persisted, including allegations of bribery and payments to Colombian paramilitary groups, leading to a $25 million fine by the U.S. Department of Justice in 2007. Despite the rebranding, Chiquita's history as United Fruit continues to cast a shadow over its reputation, serving as a cautionary tale of corporate overreach and the devastating consequences of unchecked power. Thanks for diving into the shocking history of the banana industry with us. If you found this video as eye-opening as we did, make sure to hit that like button, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe for more fascinating deep dives. Don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you never miss an untold story like this one.